Bam. I think we're live here on Hobby Palooza 2023. It says it's live. Don't quite know. Hopefully, there's people out there watching and enjoying the content so far. Obviously, it's for a good cause. And we are collecting money for signatures of soldiers, for soldiers, I should say. And let me put old Mike's information down there. PayPal to Mike. And if we donate to PayPal during this broadcast, then we'll give away a box. What are we going to give away? We're going to give away 2023 Heritage. They call them giant boxes now instead of mega boxes, I guess. So got one here. I also have one that I'm going to open. And I think the boys there, Mark Hoyle and Cooter Lev, are going to open one as well. So everybody knows Mark from Massachusetts and Tom from Oklahoma that we call the Cooter. These guys are, I'll take them with me anywhere and everywhere because they are true, wonderful gentlemen and wonderful collectors. So have a couple people popping up in the chat. If we missed it, I will say it again. Anybody that donates during this this section will be eligible for a 2023 Heritage Topps Heritage box. How you doing, Mark? You all right over there?
I'm hanging in there, man. Ready to open some packs. I never get to do it, so I'm ready.
All right, Tom, you all good over there in Oklahoma? Yeah, Tom's going to freeze up every now and then, so he'll pop in and out. But one of the things here is we're going to show some cards, and we're going to show cards that we get right out of the packs. We're old guys that don't open cards that much, but what better way to go than to open some Heritage and maybe talk about the 1974 set, which is kind of one of those really cool sets that flies under the radar a little bit in the 70s. I kind of like the design. I think it's neat. I like the colors, Mark. I know it's got a white border, but the team colors are kind of cool. Kind of some things that we didn't see before, you know.
The first set I ever put together through packs back in '74.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's the first set that wasn't released in series mode, right?
That's right. That's right.
And that's also the first set that was released as a pseudo factory set by J.C. Penney's, which is another fun little thing. Going to talk to a few people here before we get going, Mark. Collector's Dream Orlando, how are you, sir? Card Closet, Dean, my boy Dean from Western Pennsylvania, Mad City Brew. And yes, I am in the basement. I'm in the my card cave. Belongs to me and me only. I share it sometimes when my youngest son's home from college, but otherwise it's all mine. Eddie's Cardboard Chaos, Root Beer GMT Collector. I don't know what that means, but I think anything that has root beer and it's all right with me. John 3D80s Kid is here. Philly Joe, he was a winner last year. Won himself a nice little autograph book. Dom's here from, where do they call that? New England, right? Mark Coyle, he's one of your boys there. He talks like you. Peter B.
Oh, Dom?
Yeah. He's a Yaz guy, right? We like him. Mike O from Philadelphia area. How are you, sir? Appreciate it, man. Commenting collectors here. Best in B cards. Clean, cheap shots. What is up from Nebraska? And Don's here, and I'm sure he's itching to get on the live stream, but we won't. We'll try to resist that urge. Again, folks, if you didn't hear me talk about a 2023 giant box Heritage, Topps Heritage, if you donate during the show, you will be eligible for a drawing, and I guarantee you Mike, baseball collector, will not win it. So we're going to start opening, and we're going to start talking. If you guys want to talk about 74, you want to talk about 2023, we're not going to talk about Fanatics. We're not going to talk about any of that silly stuff at all. So 74, I'm gonna start off with a trivia question here. Is that all right? This is a softball, and if you know me, it's a really, really, really looping softball, and the ball's the size of a big basketball. 1974 MVPs. AL, who do you think was the AL MVP that year? Mark Hoyle.
Oh. You got to be
That's
stumped.
not right. Sadaharu O did hit a 600th home run. So you said O, but it was that's incorrect. Sadaharu O hit a 600th home run in 1974, by the way.
That's true. That's true.
Tom, who was the NL MVP? You're muted.
Yeah, okay, sorry. I
No worries.
had to change locations.
Okay.
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Oh, my God. We're 0 for 2 on the MVPs, folks. Tom, you froze up again.
Up.
All right. So they're probably the most
Throw it
boring
out to the
MVPs in baseball history. What's that?
Throw it out to the crowd. Jeff, 74.
All right.
I don't remember.
Anybody out there? Jeff Burrows. Card Closet got Jeff Burrows. Eddie got Jeff Burrows from the Texas Rangers, right? Mike Marshall was not the NL MVP, Don. You were close, though. And it was Dom got it. It was Steve Garvey, who everybody knows. Yes. Everybody knows me.
Hey, John, just to interrupt real quick. For everybody, for every $10 that you donate, you will get an entry into win the box of Heritage. So
there you go. $10, folks. The bar has been raised. So $10. Steve Garvey, Jeff Burrows. I remember seeing that on the 75 Tops MVPs 25th anniversary or whatever it was. Yeah, Steve Garvey, Jeff Burrows. That's that. Hard to believe that the Rangers were putting out MVP type players. I think Mike Marshall, Don, was the Cy Young Award winner that year. So, yeah, there we go. Steve Garvey, very popular guy in the chat there. I'm not a big Steve Garvey fan. MVPs, Bob Boozle. And thank you, Root Beer. I like Root Beer more and more each time they comment. It's definitely a UGH for Steve Garvey. What's weird about the Hall of Fame is that and the MVPs is they're both kind of popularity contests. And I always find it ironic that Dale Murphy was voted MVP twice, but the same people won't vote him into the Hall of Fame, which is kind of strange, huh? So yes. That's that little MVP talk in 74. Here's one for Mark Hoyle. We're going to give a Mark Hoyle question. In the 1974 leaders cards, leaders we're talking about, which obviously depict the leaders from the 73 season. There are 7 Hall of Famers on the offensive MVP, on the offensive statistical leaders cards. We're talking about home runs, RBIs, average, and stolen bases. Only one of those people depicted on out of those 8 players is not a Hall of Famer. Talking about home runs, RBIs, averages, and stolen bases. One of the players depicted on those 4 cards is not a Hall of Famer. Only one. You know who that is?
Tommy Harper.
There you go, man. That was a good one. I thought I'd get you. Tommy Harper.
There it
is. There it is. Stolen bases leader. We had, who do we have there? We had Reggie and Willie. I think were both home runs and RBIs, right? And then Carew and Rose were the batting average. And then Lou Brock was the other stolen base guy.
Lou Brock.
So, yeah. I've got nothing so far card-wise. I just get a bunch of dudes with bad haircuts like Pete Alonso. Yeah, start ripping, start opening. I got Pete Alonso, who's got that's the kind of haircut I had in 1989. A little longer in the back, but short on the sides for sure. You want to see Mark's decal edges from that year. Talking about 74, right? So Mark has come prepared. That's Dom.
Dom, okay.
Show us what you got, Mark.
There's a Tiant.
Louis Tiant. Okay. Who was he? He wasn't an Indian. He was a Red Sox then?
Red Sox, yes. And here we get a...
Yes. Almost bought one of those at the Philly show earlier this year.
I have the Fisk and the decal, but here's the proof.
And that's Oakland County, right? Coliseum, I think. Yeah, I think that's...
Yeah.
Keep in mind, though, a lot of these cards in the 70s, like I like to say, were either shot in San Francisco, Oakland, or on the East Coast, and I guess Shea, right? So Shea or Yankee Stadium. What you got, Tom?
Are these in Heritage?
I don't think so. I don't know if there's any decal in this year's Heritage.
Hey,
those
John,
are pretty big.
What's up, Tom?
I was going to say this will be the first pack of baseball product I've opened since 1993.
I've had since I sent this box to you, I've had the overwhelming feeling that you're the only one that's going to get a really big card out of any of this.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's if anybody since it's been 30 years since my boy Kuderlev there has opened a pack of cards. They're definitely easier to open up than they were. What's that?
I said, and there it is. No, Gino Suarez is the first card I've opened in 30 years.
What do you got, Mark?
I got the Minnesota Twins stamps.
In your pack?
They put all 4 Twins.
Oh, I
What's
got you. That was from 74, right?
All 4.
Yeah, look at that.
And no, this came in the pack.
That's now, huh? Who's that? Rod Carew, Killebrew, and who are the 2 youngins?
Correa and Buxton.
Wow, man, good score. Ziggy's here, of course. Don Picker, Jim's here. Who else did I miss? Zach and Porter is here. He says hi, collectors. Yeah. So Aaron Nola, he's a Philadelphia Philly apparently. He's good for about 4 innings a game, like any big league pitcher. Oh boy, I got Mookie Betts, Clayton Kershaw, Walker Buehler, and another fella that I don't recognize on there. I believe he was married to Cindy Garvey at one point. I got a Nolan Ryan, looking good. I really like this. I've always liked this design. I know it's kind of simple. Kyle Wright red border. I always like this design, and like we said before, it's kind of simple, but I like the colors. Right? They were, other than the Angels, I think they were kind of color matched with the team. The Angels always stood out because they were pink banners for the city and team name there. I don't know whether. What do you got there? That's is that Schwarbs? Schmidt and Schwarbs. Oh, look at that, man!
Yeah.
There's the Schwarber or Max Scherzer and
Seaver. Wow, nice score, Tom.
Yeah, the Seaver came from my set, but it was easily. Yeah. I like how they've honored the old photos, and I think someone put together a composition of which ones that they have in their heritage that relate back to the 74 set.
Yeah, I like that match. I think there's some things they could have done in addition to that, but it's definitely some nice matching that they've done there. All good stuff. The horizontal cards or landscape cards obviously are action shots in 74 as well as his heritage. Ancient Redwood says all 70s Topps designs are epic. I agree with you, other than the 79 rookie cards. Kyle Wright looks like Sid Finch. Sid Finch never had a card, did he? But it does look like Sid Finch. That looks like the cover of, was that the cover of Sports Illustrated, or was that the first page of the article? You're right, though. He's got the same wind-up.
Yeah, it was on the cover, Barefoot.
That was I forget who wrote that. Guy who started the who wrote that?
Was it
whatever?
Jennings? Dan Jennings?
No, it was one of the big time guys. Got a Bryce Harper in there.
All-star card. Pretty good.
Yeah, you know what? Flip that card over though, Mark. Here's the problem with the All-Star cards. What's it say on the back? It's the box score. Is it not the box score from the All-Star game? The problem with that, the problem with that is every All-Star card has that box score, right? Whereas in 74, the 74, only the first All-Star card had the box score. You got Doggy, you got Johnny Bench, and who are the modern guys there, Tom?
Well, no, they're all for
are they?
Morgan. Yeah. So
is it really? Wow.
Yeah, it's all the big red
score, man. It's a good score. I guess next year that would have had Ellie De La Cruz, right? He's having a heck of a season so far. Another problem. So yeah, the 74 All-Stars, which I think are awesome. I love the colors, and obviously the players are epic. Had a puzzle on the back, right? If you put the cards together, I think, Mark, the 74 All-Star, and I think it was Bobby Bonds. This year, I think that they could have done a puzzle. They would have done a puzzle on the back. It would have been nice, but I don't know why they didn't do that. So that's one of the misses, I think. The hits would be the kind of copying what you saw there with Tom Seaver. And I think that's one of the misses. It would have been nice to have a puzzle on the back there, right?
Yes, Plimpton.
George Plimpton, that's right. I knew it was somebody big. I forget it was either him or the guy that started the National or whatever it's called, not the show. Another miss here. This is what's one of the problems with 2023 is that we don't know what the Angels are called anymore, right? It's the blank Angels. I think they could have just thrown California up there, but everybody's so worried about their branding that they couldn't do that or wouldn't do that. So I think that's a problem. Now, in these cards, 2023, I'm told, keep an eye out for several of the variations. I don't know whether the rest of the old timers on screen here know this, but there's positions. Look at Schwartz, right? Positions get swapped with the names sometimes, top to bottom. There's a black and white variation. Obviously, there's reverse images and different image variations and all that stuff. So apparently it's all written on the bottom somewhere, at the bottom left, but I need my glasses for that.
So if you look at this card,
yeah,
that is the epitome of why there's so many Tommy John surgeries.
Look at that, man. He's
look how
killing himself. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at his shoulder and his elbow. These guys are just ripping the ball. And that really shows how much strain they're putting on their arms.
Now, pretty sure our boy Nolan Ryan back then, who was kind of pitching in anonymity out there in California, I think this is the year he threw 259 pitches in a game or 253 pitches in a game or something like that, 113 innings. So, that's
fans.
Hold on a second. What do you have, Mark? Who's that?
K-Line, Torkelson,
wow.
Baez, and Riley Green.
So interesting how Tom went 4 for 4 with old time players, and that's only 1 out of 4 there. And what do you have there, Tom? You got an Aaron Judge special.
Yeah, it's an Aaron Judge special, but if you look at it, it's harkens to the first 6 Aaron cards of the 70s.
Right. Yeah.
So that's card number 4. But obviously, the original set had all Aaron.
Right.
But good tribute back to the original set.
Yeah, let's I'm going to go back to the chat here. Oh, look at that. There's the original stamps right there, folks. Good stuff, man. Yeah. It's good stuff. I think I have a Yaz up there somewhere.
Brooks Robinson on there.
I'm going to go right back to the chat here a little bit. Again, I'm going to highlight Root Beer's comment about Steve Garvey, a definite UGG moment. MVPs deserve more consideration for the Hall. We went over that. Don says PM. I don't know what he means by that. Oh, it says 2:06 PM is when he said it. It's just the PM was down one thing. Who is your favorite player from your team's rival? As a White Sox fan, I always like Derek Lee. That's from Dan Ryan. What do you think, Tom? Who's your favorite player? And this is tough because tell him who your biggest rival is, Tom.
Being a Giants fan, my biggest rival is obviously the Los Angeles Dodgers.
So who is your favorite player from the Los Angeles Dodgers?
Are you talking modern day or historic?
No, I don't care about modern day.
Historically, I'd probably say Koufax.
Yeah, I think that's a good call, right?
Yeah, and I mean, he was, to hear my family talk about when he'd come pitch against the Giants, I always said it was a boring game and going to be a loss just because he was so phenomenal.
So would Juan Marichal agree with you?
Yeah. I don't know about Juan. I left the special wrapping paper you gave me out when I had to move base camp. But John was so kind to wrap my Heritage box in a 8x10 copy photo of Juan Marichal telling Johnny Roseboro he had a mosquito there in his temple, so he was offering to take it off. It was the first use of the Beat LA hashtag.
One of the best baseball fights ever, right? What was that? Because of Koufax brushed him back? Like, why would a pitcher ever go after another pitcher is what I'm asking, do you think?
Yeah, well, he really didn't go after Koufax. He went after Roseboro with the bat.
But they were halfway out to the mound, though.
Yeah,
right?
they were about halfway out, Roseboro.
Okay. Yeah.
But
and Koufax is just kind of standing there watching it, right? So it was kind of I love that. How about you, Mark? Your favorite player from your biggest rival, which I'm guessing is what team is that?
The Yankees.
I
got to go with Reggie Jackson.
Oh, good call. Good call, man.
One of my favorite players on the A's, and it just
all right.
polarizing figure.
I grew up a Phillies fan. I don't know who the rivals were, the Phillies in the 70s. Perhaps it was the Dodgers who knocked the Phillies out of the playoffs a couple times. So that's a slam dunk for me. It would have to be Steve Garvey, I guess, right? I hadn't even given any time to that until that question came. I just didn't like Steve Garvey for many reasons, and there's a legitimate one. Love Truth saying, what's up? Yeah, I have. So I've got my 74 set here. Tom doesn't, I don't think. Tom might have some of his 74s.
I've got my set.
And Mark's got like everything that Tom and I probably don't have. And I was going through my 74s, and I realized I don't have the batting average league leaders card. And so I'm missing the Rod Carew, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Rod Carew Pete Rose card, which would be card number 20. Maybe I do have it. I don't know. I'm missing one card. Oh, I'm missing one card out of that. So, but let me ask you guys a question here. We saw that Aaron Judge card, which does harken back to Hank Aaron. Another one of my pet peeves right now with the 2023 set, and I know it's baseball marketing, is the AL Home Run King thing. It's just me that think it's kind of a Fugazi title, AL Home Run King, because of interleague play, or am I making much ado about nothing?
I absolutely agree with you that it's a Fugazi, but with interleague play, I think Judge hit 10 home runs against the National League.
Right.
Now it doesn't take away what he did. It was still phenomenal to hit that.
Yep, for sure.
But still, we've lost the separation. It's kind of like with the wild card. Everything that made the game so distinct and statistically valid, we've watered down.
Right.
With the ghost runners, with the interleague play, with the DH. And I'm going to sound like a grumpy old man, but I choose to be. Of course, I would note I am the youngest on this stream.
Are you really?
Yeah, by a year. I think I beat you by a year, John.
It's horrible.
69 is my birth year. So
yeah. You made your point. So. What about you, Mark? I know you don't ever want to see a Yankee succeed, but this is Yankee on Yankee record breaking here.
I mean, it was a great accomplishment, but it's just a made up AL. You never heard about it before. AL home run leader. NL.
Yeah.
You never heard about it.
And I feel like there is a generational thing here, obviously, because when we were growing up, the AL and the NL were completely separate, obviously, but there were different umpires that never crossed over. The leagues had presidents and all that fun stuff. So they were separate, not quite equal, because the DH was adopted by the AL 50 years ago or whatever. But still, it was it's tough for me to swallow, because I remember the separation, which is one of the reasons why I tell people that I grew up a Yaz fan, is they were never going to play the Phillies, so I never had to worry about that. So it is tough for me to wrap my head around an AL home run record at this point, which is no different than, I tell people the NFC and the AFC in football, there's not an AFC rushing record and an NFC rushing record. It's just a league rushing record, right? But with that said, it is quite an accomplishment, because there is pressure attached to that, and having to perform under pressure is a pretty big deal. So,
well, it's like with the pennant race. There's, with all the wild cards.
Yeah.
I mean, who gets excited about the pennant race anymore? Now
it's
just like who can come in and get the the show bet, so to speak.
It's a tournament, right? Yeah. Is what it is at this point, right? Who gets hot in a tournament? And the Phillies obviously showed that last year. They were probably the fourth or fifth best team in the National League, and they made it to the World Series.
Yeah.
Because they got hot.
Well, I mean, think about Russ Hodges' call, in 51, the Giants win the pennant, but they'll still meet the Dodgers in the wild card game next week.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, right?
You've taken the excitement out of the pennant race.
Yeah. Reminder, everybody, donate $10 or more. You get to enter one of these. Mike Moynihan skunk protection. So he will not be winning that, because I'm the one who sends it to somebody. So that's that. Rose not in the Hall of Fame, says best in baseball card. You know what? I can't tell you, as every day goes by, I believe that more and more. I thought Rose would get in even when he's dead. But now I don't even want him anywhere near the hall, even across the street signing autographs. Don, you cannot get any Red Sox trivia past Mark Hoyle. You're right. Mike Schmidt,
There's a
or
few.
ask a question when Mike Schmidt is answering to do 10 push-ups. You're not going to do 10 push-ups. Look at this banger right here, folks. So 74, I believe Frank Robinson was with the Angels, Nolan Ryan, Mike Trout, and Shohei Ohtani. So it's a pretty fun little card right there, huh? Let's see here. Zach again. Orlando loves Louis Tiant. I think I know why. Was he Cuban? He was from Cuban, right? Louis Tiant? Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. I'm probably going over top of here. Box toppers this year. Dom, I got one of these earlier. I got a Nolan Ryan box topper, and I got the Willie Stargell puzzle box topper. And then Mark's got the original puzzles, of course, running around there. Yeah. You had to show that one, right? That's the one you had to show. Those are pretty expensive right now. I know that from firsthand experience. They're pretty expensive. Suarez.
John.
What's
Mark's
that?
bigger. I don't know why we try. Mark's is always bigger.
He's got a small room, but he's got a big collection. That's what they say. Rocket Trick J18 Sports Card says hello to us. Kyle Wright card looks like Sid Finch. We've been over that. Why am I having a problem here? Crisp design. Love the manager cards with the heads of staff. Yeah, the floating heads made their appearances, Bob, both on the manager cards, or I guess the coaches on the manager cards, as well as the Chicago Cubs, which couldn't seem to get everybody together for a team picture. Another problem I have with modern cards, I think team pictures would be pretty cool, but that's probably indicative of how often players come and go from the big leagues, I guess, right? They're always bopping back and forth. Ready for another trivia question? Ooh, we got a Tom Seaver stamp. What's that? A four-way leader card. What category is that? Oh, it's two of them. I thought it was a four-way. Gotcha.
Yeah.
See, they're all right, though, because they list everybody who finished in the top 50 or whatever in those, right? Who had the worst home attendance in 1974? What team had the worst home attendance in 1974? Tom, you got an answer for us?
No.
Keep in mind, though, here's one for you. The Yankees didn't even play at home that year. So their home attendance was 0. They played at Shea.
I actually might go with the Giants because Willie Mays had retired. Willie McCovey had gone to the Padres.
Okay.
God, if you look at some of the photos in the 74, 75s, I mean, there's more players on the card than there are fans in the crowd.
Are you done mansplaining why your favorite team did have the lowest attendance? They did. Yeah. They did. And I don't know whether it was that year. What year did they enclose Candlestick as well? Must have been around that time, right?
It was I think a year or two earlier, as I recall.
Right. Because a lot of these cards, I think in 74, start to show like the construction process in Candlestick. Enclosed for the San Francisco 49ers, of course. Otherwise, which is ironic, we talk about the greatness of Willie Mays, who it's hard to argue who the greatest baseball player was, but Willie Mays had as much talent as anybody. I think he's got the most out of that amazing talent than anybody, right? So many players had extreme talent. Look at that. The last official, I call it a playing days Willie Mays card because he was still playing, even though it's the next year, right?
Yeah. Game 2 of the 73 series. I mean, you know, they talk about how, you know, the 73 series, he didn't perform well. I mean, it was sort of a sad ending,
right?
But it was neat that he did show up on the 74 card.
Yeah, that's a fun little one that not a lot of people, you know, you can do the player run of Willie Mays to that 73 Mets card, of course, but that's a fun little thing to bolt on to the end of his career. Nice shot of him swinging in that uniform. Battery Carlisle Road says 400 plus or short prints, of course, 400 through 500, and then I think somebody got a short print. So anything above 400 to 500 or 400 to 499, maybe 500, I don't know, is a short print, and then they'll put the the later stuff. Yes, John, George Plimpton, you were correct. You were the first with the answer. Thank you so much, sir. Kin's here. He says some of his favorite hobby people. I'm sure he's talking about 2 out of 3. Red cards. Yep. Red cards. Give us some scratch offs, tops. Now, Bob Boozle, there's a time in the late 70s, early 80s where the tops and their scratch offs were a little tough, right? There's the tops. What is it? 81. There was a top set with scratch offs. And then I don't know whether it's 81, 82 hockey, which was absolutely horrible. You had to scratch off to see a player's name and their position and their team and all that stuff. So I don't know if the world's ready for a reintroduction of scratch offs. Truth be told, but I don't know. Be fun, maybe, huh? Mark's probably got the scratch offs from what was that? 60. When was the scratch offs in the 60s? Or was it 70?
70, 71. 71.
Yeah. Got one right over there. Got a Yaz one. I think I might have most of the set, actually. Don't know what state of scratching they're in, but yeah. Last time was
one that came out in 73.
Yeah. Last time was in 89. I love Truth is Saying. Maybe I'm the hit for the cycle thing. Yeah. L.A. De La Cruz. Look at that. Is that Shohei?
Shohei and
Nolan. Yeah, that Nolan Ryan card's freaking awesome. You know, that's just such a beautiful Nolan Ryan card.
Yeah.
It's probably his first really cool card. Well, I shouldn't say that. 71 was pretty cool too, but it's a nice shot for sure.
Well, I really like how Topps did that. I mean, it's
yeah. So yes, L.A. De La Cruz did hit for the cycle. Good for him. Big kid, huh? 6'5", 200. Hit for the cycle, fast, all that stuff. We'll see what happens to his future. Hopefully, he's got a long and bright future. He's playing third base and shortstop. Apparently, he does it all. Which I guess he's listed as a third base / shortstop. I guess that's what happens in the shift age, right? You play more toward short than you do third base. Ancient Redwoods is with you. Beat L.A. Mariners fan. Biggest rival is the standings, says Eddie's keyboard covercast. Nice. My favorite Philly rival is the 74 set. Has to be Seaver. So you got Joe Morgan there. He would be MVP when at 75 or 76 was he MVP?
Yeah.
One of those years.
It's just nobody cares about this team.
Nobody cares. Who's that?
Florida,
you know what I'd like to see back?
Rollins.
I'd like to see Topps. If they're going to do heritage and they're going to do stuff like that, I'd like to see them airbrushing stuff. Look at Reggie, man.
Yeah.
It's an awesome card. And Seth Brown. Is Seth Brown like a hitter at all, or are they just...
I think they had a photo they needed.
Gotcha.
I love that Reggie. When I was a kid, I'd draw, in art classes, always a baseball player. And if it was a right-handed hitter, it'd be the Hank Aaron pose way out in his front foot. But I love the Reggie card because just how far back he is on his back foot. So that was
much better than this 1973 card, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
I got myself a Eloy Jimenez game-used memorabilia. I think it's a baseball bat. So I got myself one of those. They call them relics, I think.
It is a playoff card.
The playoff card. Is that who is that? That Bo Bichette?
Bo Bichette.
Okay. Yeah, I like this. Everything about those cards. The World Series cards are even better with the red, white, and blue banners. I'm sure they did on that this year.
They did.
Robin Yount of the American League Brewers was my favorite opponent, says Stukes. George Foster says Rocket Trick. What do you have there? You have some Tom Terrific?
Yeah, it's a flashback, but it's commemorating him becoming the highest paid pitcher. So any guesses of what the highest paid pitcher made in 1974?
I'd say $120 a year.
$120? Not too far off. $172, 172.5.
It's pretty impressive, huh?
Yeah.
Not bad. Ray has to bring up NLCS 1977 Black Friday, which is a mark on Philadelphia history. I got myself a Bowie Kuhn with Steve Garvey. I got more Steve Garvey cards in this box than anything. So Marcus Stroman red border for Bo. Bo's at a bachelor party. Should be done by 6 p.m. tonight because he's like 40-something years old going to bachelor parties. Who's that?
Corbin Carroll.
There you go, man. Nice. Root beer. I know Top started the 74 set with the Hank Aaron home run cards. Actually, card number 1 was the all-time home run king, Hank Aaron. Boy, and we talk about what a risk that was, especially considering Roberto Clemente that had died the year before, and Hank was under a lot of pressure from bigotry as well as the home run record. So he pulled it off. And then the next 4 cards or next 5 cards were career cards depicting all his Topps cards, which was pretty cool. The first Hank Aaron rookie card I ever had was card number 2 in the 1974 set. So
now you do have his rookie now?
Yep, I got a rookie back there. Got one of those bad boys. Yeah, beautiful card, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tommy Lasorda. He hated Tommy Lasorda, said Ancient Redwoods. Tommy Lasorda, I was talking about him with my wife's uncle the other day, who grew up with Mike Piazza's father. And Tommy Lasorda. He said Tommy Lasorda was a pretty tough SOB. You wouldn't want to fight that guy. But you guys ever... Go ahead, Tom.
I was going to say you can listen to some of his rants on YouTube.
Doug Rao. Did you ever hear that one?
Yeah.
The Doug Rao one is priceless, man.
I mean, the guy worked in profanity like some people, work in oil, as they said in Christmas Story.
Ray's bringing up 77 again with the Pirates never bothered us, I guess. Well, they did bother us in the NL East, but Louis Stargell beat the crap out of a ball at Veterans Stadium once. Jeter, his picker Jim's begrudging, respected opponent. Rascal 30 says, my late dad used to tell me how big and mean Don Drysdale was when it came to brushing guys off the plate. Now, the thing about Don Drysdale was he could hit a ball too. So Don Drysdale could hurt you in many ways. Look at that. That's a nice Fran Healy, huh? Yeah. I think he was with the Yankees too at one point, Fran Healy.
But just neat. Neat they did that.
It's good that you're pulling those together. Now, another miss, I think it would have been nice to have some the Padres error cards too, right? Because we know the Padres were attempting to move. There's the Willie McCovey airbrushed again. I think we should bring back airbrushing a little just for fun on the heritage cards, but no Dave Winfield rookie National League card, though. He was not included in apparently he was not being transferred to Washington like the other folks. But that would have been cool to maybe do like San Diego and then National League underneath them this year or something like that instead of the Padres. Yeah. But again, trademarks, right?
Yeah. Hey, you mentioned airbrushing.
Yeah.
So my vote for the worst airbrush card, speaking of Pirates.
Ken Brett.
Yeah, the Ken Brett. That hat is just a cartoon hat.
I think I sent Don from Field of Dreams a hat that looked just like that, just as bad shape. Scott's done.
Dreamer.
Yeah, true, right? And he was supposed to be the best Brett in the major leagues at one point, they said. Scott's finally done painting his paintbrushes. What's that, Mark?
18 years old, pitching the World Series.
That's crazy. Brett. Yeah. Roger Maris Jr. handled himself. Yeah, I was not a big fan of Roger Maris Jr. coming out with several proclamations about home run hitters. I don't recall Roger Maris Jr. hitting home runs in the major leagues. 70s, A's, Reds, Yankees, Pirates. Great decade, of course. Only a couple winners of the World Series in that decade. Yankees did it a couple times. Reds did it a couple times. A's did it 3 times. So it was a decade of domination by a couple teams, but it was awesome. Ghost Runner in extra innings is so lame. I think we could all agree with that. Hopefully, Jim Palmer. Now that overhand, wow, that's a great little matchup there too, huh? But Jim Palmer's a little more upright. Is that because the strides are longer? What do we think? Maybe the mound's higher. Who knows?
Yeah, they'd already lowered the mound.
They did lower the mound at that point, right?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, the Orioles were great as well. Orioles were absolutely great throughout the decade. They didn't, they were there hanging the whole time. Of course, Jim Palmer. Who won your poll for pitcher of the 70s, Mark?
Tom Seaver.
Tom Seaver, okay. Palmer was just lights out. What did he do, 6 20-win seasons or something?
I was surprised it wasn't closer, actually.
Yeah. Palmer, I don't like to use the terms underrated, but he just kind of flies under the radar, that's for sure. He was maybe, and it's weird because he was very telegenic and stuff like that. He was in commercials and all that stuff. Baseball people just don't like him as much as they like Tom Seaver for some reason. Going through the Hoochie Macoochies. Show us a 1974 Oscar Gamble. Schmidt and Gamble have similar cards, but posing from different sides. Of course, 1974 Topps Schmidt was his first solo card. So let's see. I don't know what number that is. Wish I knew what number that was. That's number 283. Let me dig up the Schmidt. And of course, Oscar Gamble, straight up legend. I just passed one of my least favorite cards in that set, and that's the Ron Santo Leo DeRocher card, which is Ron Santo kind of just hanging out, and Leo DeRocher barely dressed behind him. Oscar Gamble's 152. So this is a great call out, by the way. I wish I was better prepared.
Santo.
Yeah,
DeRocher.
brutal, absolutely brutal. So here we go for the kids at home. There's Schmidt. And there's Gamble. Looks like the same pose. One's in spring training, and one I think is at Yankee Stadium. So good stuff. Love those cards. Love the hair. Love the Schmidt first solo card. All that fun stuff. Only problem is that there are a few pennant races pre WC that most baseball fans cared about in September. I only knew about two teams fighting it out for the pennant in the postseason because that came into play in '69, and I know Mark started really becoming a fan in '69. So we don't really we didn't grow up in an era where the teams played to the bitter end, but the division races were pretty intense, as 1978 Mark can attest to. Was that the first time you baseball player broke your heart, Mark? 1978.
Yes.
There's-
Yeah, it is.
Just
Yeah.
too soon to talk
Well-
about, or I noticed you're a little uncomfortable.
75 was pretty bad too. So we came close.
Tom, you had to
Here's
wait
a
a very
question
long
for both of
time. Oh, let us have it, man. Come on, I'm ready.
Here's a question, because we'll throw it out to the audience too to see how they do it. Now, you found those cards, you looked up by number. As a kid, I bindered my cards by team. And the sets I put together as a kid are still bindered by team, not by number. Anybody else do that?
No, and what does your therapist say about that? Because that's just the wrong way to do things. They have numbers on the back of them, Mark. What are you going to do? By batting average, career batting average, or something?
I did it by the old 4-division setup.
And then alphabetical,
70.
like
No, Red
as
Sox
far
always
as
went first.
no, I'm saying when you did the team.
The Red Sox went first, then alphabetical within the division.
Okay.
All the leader cards.
But I
at the
mean,
beginning,
within the Red
breakfast at-
Sox, it would be the player's last name first, or
No,
card number, or whatever.
didn't matter to me.
Didn't-
I'm the least OCD collector you will ever see in your life.
Anybody else do that? Tom, what did you do? How did you always do your stuff?
Well, so originally, in particular in the vintage, until I'd get to the point where I felt like I had most of the set, and I'd go be able to go ahead and put it in binders.
Right.
I'd go by team, and I'd organize by team, favorite to least favorite. So obviously, National League starting with the Giants. Usually it was Boston on the front of the American League because of the Ted Williams. And then position on the page is like the, place of honor is the center pocket on a 9 pocket. So
Man, you guys are messed up.
yeah, and then always, if there were, like with modern cards with action shots, I'll still do this like on my Giant team sets. They don't go in order. They go in with, hey, look, if I put these 3 cards together, it's like the natural progression of a pitching motion or a swing or portrait shots together. So it's just something stupid that I started as a kid that I still carry through today. But then now all my sets are numerical.
Well, I want to apologize to both of you guys because the folks chiming in the chat have done similar setups than you guys. So I apologize. Obviously, I'm the oddball, but that's not the first time I've heard that. Remind everybody, get your donations in. 2023 Topps Heritage Giant Box will be coming to you if the ball falls your way when we spin the ball. Chris, I didn't say hi to you. Thanks for coming in there. He did it by team and player. Jeff's card journey did as well. Team with team picture card on top, which was pretty cool. Beans Carblog wants to say thanks to Cooter there. I'm sure he's happy you got your cards. Chris, team then player. 67 was obviously the last great pennant race. None of us really remember that. I don't know whether you remember that peripherally from people around you, Mark, or were you aware that it was happening?
No.
Didn't know, huh?
No. But I got a book in the mail this morning about that pennant race. 4
Right.
teams right down to the last 2 days. I just got it in the mail today.
Who was the National League? Was the Cardinals and who? The Reds?
Just the Cardinals.
Just the but who was behind them? I wonder. It was the 4 teams in the AL. You're saying, yeah. I got you. Dave Parker rookie card. We need to mention that it's 74. The Dave Parker rookie card was a pretty big deal. So, good stuff. We got about 5 minutes left here. Oscar was 152. I got him. Thanks, Root Beer. Appreciate that. There's the Dave Parker rookie card. Candlestick Park, I believe, right? I got an eye for Candlestick for some reason. Mark, explain to us those cards. Year? No, I didn't see any stamps this year. I see. I haven't seen any stamps
these
yet.
Are actually,
or the stamp albums. I mean.
Yeah, you can peel these off, but when you got these in a pack, you got one of these. And for whatever reason, the 74s albums are much tougher to find than the 69s, which you just got a bunch of.
I got a ton of them. Yeah. Interesting.
But these are 74s are very hard to find, although the stamps are plentiful. So.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. There's a lot of stuff like parallels and all that stuff, but I don't see any of the albums. No. I see the flashbacks, the baseball flashbacks. There's nicknames, there's box loaders, all that stuff. Then and now. But baseball stamp relics, and there's postal stamp relics. And there's 20 of one and 19 of another for some reason. So,
hey, John, Word asked a question. What's the toughest set of the 60s?
Toughest set of the 60s is the two people on the screen will probably agree to me. It's probably 67.
I would almost go 66. 67, 66, both the high numbers are really tough.
The high number brutal. Yeah.
Yeah. And 67 seems to be, I mean, there's like the Red Sox card's crazy. Right. It's both high number and the Impossible Dream, but 66, it just seems like the high numbers were a lot tougher to come across in the 67s.
Yeah. So Word, I will tell you that right now well, I wouldn't say my earliest complete set, but I have a 68 and 69, but I've stopped at 67 so far. I've completed my 58 and 56 before I've completed my 67. So there's a couple bumps in the road ahead for me, I think, for sure.
61 is also sneaky tough with the high numbers.
Yeah. 61 was a weird year because it was an expansion year. So it's known for the non-baseball caps. A lot of players without baseball caps due to expansion. So, yeah. Root Beer agrees with the 67 high numbers. I've been warned about a couple people here, Tom and Mark, about that set. So I kind of shied away from it up to this point. What's up, Mike Moynihan?
Hey.
Did anybody give anything?
We raised $130.
Oh my gosh. Wonderful, wonderful people.
So we're going to do a quick, I'm going to share my screen. We'll do the drawing. How many times do you want me to randomize it?
Let's see. Let's do
67.
it. I was going to say 67. Let's do 7 for the 70s, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here we go.
All right, we're going to spin it.
For a box of 2023 Topps Heritage.
Is that Brian Palau? Is that what it says? Let's see.
Brian
nice.
Palau.
So, Brian, if you're here, you need to yap at me or Mike. How do you want to do that, Mike?
I have his address. I can just give
his
it to
address?
you.
Okay, He'll send it to me, and I'll send it off to. I'll send it off to. One randomized. I know one's enough, but that's okay. We like to do 7. Yeah, Michael, send me your address. The box will be going to Brian. Thank you, everybody who donated. The most important part was donating for the cause, and appreciate it. Thanks for your time, Mark and Cooter. Thanks everybody for watching, listening, and we're even sleeping. Mike slept through most of that. So thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Good luck to the rest of the people the rest of the way. Keep giving. Bye.
Bye.